Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to this sessions of materials management. Today, we'll be discussing dynamics of buyer-seller relation. Uh, Generally, we purchase goods, we are buyer, but these are all consumer goods. Here, we'll talk about the industrial goods, the industrial products. The buyer gets industrial products from its suppliers. Both are organizations. Buyer is one organization and seller is one organization. So as two organizations, buyer and sellers, so these organizations, they consist of human beings. So like human relationships, here also we have some relationships. We'll discuss that. Here we'll talk about the need of a supplier. You can see from this figure, this slide, that these are all Maruti cars. And Maruti has two manufacturing units, one in Haryana and another in Gujarat. It's the number one car manufacturing unit. It's a 3.1 trillion US dollar company, and it produces annually around 22 lakhs car. So if you translate it daily, it is manufacturing around 6,500 to 7,000 cars. And here there are 24 varieties of cars. Take one example, Grand Vitara. It offers 17 variants. This is Grand Vitara. So one variety of Grand Vitara, it offers 17 variants. So you can imagine the number of varieties of car. So here Maruti, unlike other OEM, it cannot produce all the components. It produces mainly some engine parts and forgings and others. So for rest, and there is a statistics that for any OEM, it needs around 30,000 component parts. So you can imagine the market. So these are the component parts. So be it Maruti or any other OEM, it has to depend on various component parts manufacturing industry. So supplier is a must for many organizations. Then we'll study the importance of buyer and seller relationships. The relationship between buyer and seller can be complex because as we have seen that when we have two organizations, so and each one, buyer and seller, wants to maximize its time, resources, cash investment. So these may competing priorities that can straining the relationships. Suppose think about a seller. What is the objective? The objective of a seller is to make a product needed by the buyer and to make money. Then coming down to buyer, what is the objective of buyer? Objective of buyer is to get the raw material or component parts in lowest price and manufacture the finished products, sell it and make money. So these two, one is profit maximization, another is cost minimization. So these are two different objectives. So these two has to be matched. So how the interaction takes place between buyer and supplier? So very few cases directly these buyer and suppliers they meet, or they meet through the representatives, representative of buyer and representative of seller. And here there is we are looking for long-term relationships. Various parameters are there to be studied. One is obviously the cost. Another is quality of the product, then the product description, then customer service and or profit making, The vision statement. The vision means long term. Suppose the vision of a company, a buyer is long term, is to make quality product. So this vision, it should be matched with the suppliers. So vision statement should match. So various topics we'll cover in this session is interaction between buyer and seller, relationship management, customer service, supplier identification, selection, evaluation, and development. So here we'll study the interaction between buyer and seller. As we have studied, the representative of buyer and seller, they interact to enhance business transactions. The nature of interactions between the representatives of a buyer and seller depends upon their, one is perception, another is role, another is behavior. So first is perception. So perceptions means how you perceive the things or how you perceive your buyer. See, you see this figure, this fellow, this object is here lying. This, according to his perception, it is 6. So according to this fellow's perception, it is 9. So perceptions may differ. Perceptions may differ. It is with respect to where you are standing. Suppose buyer, it has to go to the seller's viewpoint and see. So perceptions, suppose you are dealing with a big company, reliable company, say Tata company. So generally, your perception is reliability. Reliability is a factor. Then this one, you might have heard, this is half full or half empty. This fellow is telling this is half full, and this fellow is telling this is half empty. This is once somebody has told that why to argue with this is half full or half empty, let us fill it up. Okay. So here roles means the role of a salesperson in the process. So here the role, trust comes in these roles. So according to the roles, they trust each other. The third one is behavior. Just 1 minute. Because humans are interacting means behavior plays an important role. Next is relationship marketing. This is relationship marketing. Let us discuss what is marketing and selling. This is not relationship selling. Here you can see the difference between selling and marketing. Selling means first you forecast what is the demand, then you produce in your factory, then you push to your distributor, distributor will push to wholesaler, wholesaler will push to retailer. So this is selling process. But marketing means a company survey and wants to know what is the customer needs, what product the customer needs. So according to the need, the manufacturing company produce the item and send to the distributor, wholesaler, these things. So selling comes under push strategy, marketing under. So starting point here of selling is factory, here is marketplace. Focus on existing product in selling, so focus on customer needs. Means are selling and promoting, sales promotions and all. Here integrated marketing. You integrate all the items. End is profit through volume. You sell the products, make profit. Here profit through satisfaction. You supply the product needed by the customer, satisfy the product and make money. So that is marketing. Relationship marketing means marketing involves handling products and people. Here people are there means, so it is not only science, it is both art and science, because managing people, you need some art. So people here can be buyers or sellers. Here relationship marketing plays a vital role. Rather than focusing on short-term goals like increase in sales, acquiring new customers, and enhancing profits, it is more important to focus on customer relations. In the next three slides, we'll see the relationship marketing, how it helps. There are some cases. So relationship marketing focus on building strong emotional ties between buyer and sellers. So here you can see relationship marketing in a nutshell. You aware the customer about their product, then you make him activate, motivate to take your product, then he will purchase, then you give him after sales service so that he will have repeat purchase and he will be your loyal customer. So here we will discuss some advantages of relationship marketing. One is cost effective. One statistics is there. Yes. Acquiring a new customer costs 5 times more than retaining an old one. So if you want to acquire one new customer, you are spending a lot of money and you are spending a lot of time. So it costs 5 times. So through relationship marketing, you retain the old customer. So it leads to innovation. You know what is your, here main thing is you know the feedback. Who is using your product? The buyer is using your product. So you want to know what is the feedback. So according to the feedback, you change your strategy and supply. So this helps in selling organizations better understand client behavior, client need, as well as need for modification, upgradation of the product. So this leads to innovation. So cost effective leads to innovation. Third one is strategy development and adoption of new tools. So this strong bond between buyers and seller makes them partners whereby they get together to jointly devise strategy. This is long-term relationship. So jointly they work as a partner to cater to the market needs as well as adopting new tools in the process to refine it. The last one is lowering of market expenses. As relationship marketing helps clients retain their existing customers while acquiring new ones, sales grows. So it also spreads the word around through informal channels, this word of mouth. So this reduces the marketing expenses that an organization has to incur to spread the word around it. So here you can see the customer loyalty, social media, through social media, then service support system, loyalty programs and all. This feedback is in the middle. This is the most important thing. In the next slide, we'll see how feedback plays an important. So here we discuss some cases. One is Tesco. Tesco is a UK-based company. Its headquarters is in UK, and in Europe is a prominent retail chain. It is coming so top 5 retail chain. In India also, Tesco have a joint venture with our Tata Group, and the name is Trade Tata Enterprise. So the European retail chain awards its customer a loyalty point for every pound or every rupee you spend by the customer at the store. You purchase something, you get some loyalty points. So these points can be redeemed by the customers to get gift vouchers, restaurant coupons, etc. So Tesco, on the other hand, wins the loyalty of the customer who returns to shop, provide feedback, etc. So Tesco uses this feedback it obtains to reorient its offering to the customer. So as we have discussed, the you want to know your customers' feedback. So according to the feedback, you change your product and you modify it, so customers will be happy. Then talking about this McDonald's, so they record, this is an interesting case. So they record the feedback and satisfaction level of the customers. So their relationship marketing team is divided into different sections. So that deals with different attributes. One is menu offering, another is taste, ambience, and service style. So they get feedback from these different attributes. So the feedback obtained from the customer is forwarded to the different relationship marketing team who act on it to cater to the customer demand. So thereby ensuring better satisfaction level. So they go into the deep. They take the feedback and work in different functional areas. Then coming to Apple, Apple provides its customer with a customer ID, or they are telling it as a Apple ID. Suppose you have an Apple ID, you purchase another phone, then it is very easier to install and all, and you get some additional facilities also. So they record the preferences of the customers, and then they provide the customers according to the preference. They provide the customer ID to access to their in-house music portal according to the choice of the customer, film portal or shopping site, etc. Next is Uber. Uber gathers information from social media and attends to customer grievance as soon as possible. Suppose after the ride, customer has given the feedback in a scale of this 1 to 10. If it is not 10 and customer is giving some feedback, they act immediately. So as the passenger rates the ride on a 10-point scale, 1 to 10, so does the driver rate also the customer. They want to know about the customer also. So they gather it from the driver. So on that basis, they also reward the customers by offering discount on future rides. Yes. Then coming to Pantaloon, like Tesco also, Pantaloon awards loyalty points to its customers against the purchases made at the store. The points accrued can be redeemed at the store against next future purchases made. So they give heavy discount. This acts as heavy discounts and the customer finds it's budget friendly. So generally you get all the expensive items here in Pantaloon, and if you get discount, you are motivated to buy this product, future products. Next, coming to Vistara. Vistara is an airline. It is a joint venture of Tata and Singapore Airlines. After filling up a frequent flyer form, Vistara issues a client ID to the customer. Like Apple, they issued a client ID, customer client ID to the customer, and there on every flight you take or you get some credited, some points are credited, some points depending on the distance you flew. It is not number of flight, it is the distance you flew. Because you travel more distance means you are spending more. So these points can be redeemed against fresh ticket purchased on Vistara. So for a customer, it acts as a discount. Next is Apollo Pharmacy. This is a group of Apollo Pharmacy division. So here it credits a point for every rupees 10 spent at the store. Apollo Pharmacy here means they deal quality products, all branded pharmaceuticals, and generally it is open 24 hours. So these accrued points can be redeemed by customer to avail of a certain discount or to pay the bill of the medicines or the things. Apart from medicines, there are some others accessories also available. Next is Amazon. Amazon uses the power of artificial intelligence and machine languages. So Amazon records the taste and preferences of the customer on the portal. Suppose I buy a 42 size shirt of Van Heusen from Amazon. So it records that. So by using artificial intelligence and machine level languages, then it will show me all the related company, means expensive related company that size starts to me in discounts and all. So on subsequent searches, the portal throws up similar goods, so catering to the taste and preference of the customer. So thereby helping the customer to get the goods of their choice. Next is Tanishq, jewelry brand of Tata product. If you buy from Tanishq, you get also loyalty points. Recently, it is 0.3 points earned by each store, and these points are accumulated, and you can redeem in the future purchase of Tanishq as well as other Tata product like Titan I Plus for your specs and so watches, Titan, Fast Track, etc. And the last one is HOG, Harley Owners Group. You might have heard about Harley Davidson Group. Harley Davidson is an expensive bike. So here the owners, they will enjoy exclusive benefits compared to riders such as participating in event, deluxe roadside assistance, executive contents, rallies, and so on. They can interact with each other. Then next is sales presentations. Sales presentations. So this is your sales process. Sales presentation is here. This is the fourth steps of sales process, or it is in the middle. So sales process, what you do, first you, with respect to a seller, so first you prospect. You have so many customers. So suppose you have so many people, so many buyers. You see who are your prospects, who are going to take your product. So you category them. Then suppose you category X, Y, and Z, they will be your prospect. Then you prepare according to their tailor-made thing, according to their need, what they want. You prepare, you homework, you prepare all these things, then you approach for a date or time, then you give sales presentations. So we'll discuss what is sales presentations. Then they have some objections. They will ask some queries. You handle these queries, you close the sale, and then you follow. So this total is your sales process. Our sales presentation is here, where you present before the buyers. So it is a step in sales process where sales professionals demonstrate the product or services value proposition and use it to convince potential clients. So these are sales pitch, demonstration of the product, creating a long-term impression, and promoting product. Suppose directly you demonstrate your products, then it is over. People will see directly how it runs. So what are the features of sales promotion? One is relevance and focus. It should be relevant to the product and should not be generic. You should not go there in the sales presentations and you tell about the general applications of the products. You tell about what is your buyer's requirement and how you can fulfill this by giving your product. So it should not be generic and it is target specific. Connection and physical demonstration develops a link between the buyer and seller. So it can be supplemented by even showcasing the product physically. Physically, you demonstrate the product and explaining the major attributes. So framework, it lay down the framework of relationship between the buyer and seller, explain the benefits of product, and also benefit to both parties, win-win situation, both to buyers and suppliers. So these are the create a sales pitch, 6 steps. First is identify the problem, set the value proposition, share a story, offer solution to the buyer, show the social proof, and end with CTA. CTA is call to action. because the buyers must take some action. How it will take some actions? It will download your websites and all. It is visit your website. It should subscribe to your newsletter. It should contact. Then it should watch your videos and all. So next is negotiation. And negotiation is a strategic discussion that revolves an issue in a way that both parties find acceptable. Because buyers and suppliers, you want a long-term relationship. So first you negotiate what is in your mind, you negotiate, you clarify all the things, and formally you record. So that suppose after a few years or a few months, the representatives may transfer to this department to others. So if you have a negotiation sheet and it is a formal written document, then it will be easy for us. So while negotiating, the two parties get to learn about each other's detail, each other's strength and weakness also you have to know. Because in long-term relationships, as a partner, you should know your partner's strength as well as weakness. So this negotiation helps in reducing debts, lowering prices, get better deal, and negotiate terms of contract. It helps in engaging with customers, understanding the client's needs. This is the most important things. Assisting the customer in taking decisions on business, retaining customers, assessing the terms and conditions of the contract. It is highly structured and it is formal in nature. It depends on the organization strategy. For instance, the most common strategy is to present and showcase the physical attributes of the product followed by negotiation. You show the product, what are the physical attributes, you demonstrate these things, then you go for negotiation. It helps in fixing your product prices, agreeing to terms of contract, and forging strong relationships. Then how you negotiate? Because negotiation is one of the important aspects in buyer-seller relationships. So you train your employees for effective negotiation skills. So evaluating, so first one is there are so many customers. So from so many customers, how they will choose the prospects, right? You have n number of customers. So n number of contacts. So from n number of contacts, how they will choose that yes, this fellow we can target, or this many number we can target. So you train them. Then identify needs of the customer needs, you identify, involving commitment to the parties, focus on price and quality. These two are important. One is price and another is quality. Price and quality both are important with respect to buyer as well as supplier. Then you support your customer in pre-sales, sales and after sales. Then timely delivery. Timely delivery is one of the most important criteria. See, suppose Maruti, as we have seen, there are 24 varieties. In one variety, you have 17 variants. So you depend on 30,000 components, you depend on suppliers. Suppose the one nut and bolt also, there is shortage of one nut and bolt also, the assembly system stuck up, right? So timely delivery is important. This will discuss the key aspects of negotiating a sale. First, the objective. Objective is clarity on price of the product. Price of the product, obviously. Then increase your sales. Next is profitability and customer satisfaction. Clarified with respect to the priority of the customer. That is price, delivery of service, urgency of the product required, etc. Suppose if you see some customers, they use efficient supply chain, and some unit they have responsive supply chain. So what is efficient and responsive? Efficient means their objective is to available the product at the lowest cost. So cost is important in efficient supply chain. In responsive supply chain, here time is important. You should deliver your product in least time. Lead time should decrease. So this is responsive. Suppose take for example, suppose a roadside hotel. It is roadside hotel or restaurant. So they work on efficient supply chain. That means their USP is they give lunch or dinner at 40 rupees or 50 rupees. So price is a factor. So what these people will do, they won't take the best vegetable, right? So they will bring the vegetable which is maybe 1 day old with less prices, but responsive. Take for example of a star hotel, and X is a supplier of all the vegetables of a star hotel. Star hotel means expensive hotel. So here you give the product at least time. Price is not factor. You get best quality of vegetables at least time. So here you have some inventories and all. So here it meet demands at low cost in efficient. In responsive, response quickly to the demand. Time is important. Here margin is lower, margin is higher. Because here you have to have means much more inventory. It minimizes inventory levels, maximizes flexible design, maximize performance, maintain buffer inventory to meet the unexpected demand. So, and another things also you discuss whether there is a substitute available for it. So negotiation also you see whether there is a substitute for the product or not. So explain the value of the product with respect to the price being quoted and discuss any discounts. So it is lastly to devise a well-written agreement. Then the negotiation process. So first is prior to the negotiation, you do your homework. You do what? So before negotiation, you do your homework, getting all relevant information and assesses his or her own strengths and weakness as well as those of a supplier. Suppose a buyer, his strength and weakness and supplier's strength and weakness. So before negotiation, you know all these things. So from this assessment, the purchasing negotiator develops the tactics and strategy for the negotiation. So previously he will chalk out the strategy, that which are the points I will make discuss in the negotiation. So first step in planning for negotiation is to establish the objective, what the buyer wants. So actual numerical ranges are established for quality acceptance, actual dates of delivery, and actual monetary value for applicable elements of cost. The major elements of cost traditionally negotiated includes quality of material, quantity of material. One is quality of material, next is quantity of material, quality of labor, labor wages, price of material, factory overhead, and other costs. Because these are all, it includes your cost of material. So these are the stages of negotiating process. First you prepare, you do homework, your strength and weakness, other person's strength and weakness. Then you gather information, you exchange information, you negotiate in the table, you conclude, then you write down, then you execute. Next is supplier's bargaining strength. In negotiation, how many people are negotiating? Two peoples, means two representatives, two organizations. One is buyer, another is suppliers. In the after negotiation, it should be 50-50. The result should be 50-50. But actually, it is not 50-50. It might be 60-40 or 40-60 according to the bargaining strengths of the buyer and supplier. So this is this here the strength comes, buyer strength or supplier strength. So here we will discuss the supplier's bargaining strength. There are mainly 3 points. When the seller's desire for the contract. When the seller is desired for the contracts, this is one factor. Next is the seller's certainty of getting the contract. Seller knows that no other parties can supply. So I will be the supplier. So here is one strength. Next is time available for negotiation. If the time available for negotiation is less, then it is advantageous for the suppliers. So here, supplier bargaining strength, which condition it will come? If the suppliers are few. If the suppliers are few, buyers are many, then suppliers have the bargaining strength. It is called seller's market. Whatever they will sell, in what price buyer has to take. Next is the buyers, purchasers, agents, bargaining strength. So here the extent of competition among competitors. Suppose there are lot many suppliers are there, then it is advantage for the buyer, right? In suppose OEM, take for example OEM, say Mahindra will buy tires. There are 10 number of tire manufacturing company, MRF, Apollo, JK, Bridgestone, etc., etc. So if there are so many suppliers are there, then bargainers strength will come, because here the OEM, they purchase in bulk. So when suppliers are many, buyers are few, so it is buyer's market. The adequacy of cost and price analysis, the thoroughness of the purchasing agent's preparation, because the purchasing agents has to do the homework about each company's, suppose Mahindra company, they will study the n number of tire manufacturers, strengths and all. Okay. So here purchasing agents strength means when buyers are few like our OEM, suppliers are many like auto components, here buyer strengths will be there. Next is negotiation techniques. A competent negotiator does homework before negotiating. It is obviously we have seen. So which concessions to give more importance? Because there might be n number of concessions. So which concession is significant that you have to do the homework, and prior to the negotiation you should know. So you ask proper question, what, where, how. So this is the advantage of the negotiator. Then clever answering, as we have seen, this is not a science, this is the combination of art and science. So you promote such tactics achieving long-term strategies. Listen carefully and study the body language, because body language is, while two people are interacting, body language plays an important role. Human side, two people are interacting means the human side comes into account. Then interdependence is the backbone of bargaining relationship. Suppose a supplier is very close to its buyer and it gives the specific product. So it depends on this. So this is the backbone of bargaining. Then supplier has the advantage. So the end result of it should be 50-50, but results in 60-40 or 40-60 according to the skill of the negotiator. So if your negotiation skill is more, you can save a lot of cost. It is advantageous for the company, but it should be a win-win situation, because if you negotiate more, then the buyer or seller, they are new to the entry, you cannot have long-term relationships. So negotiation includes holding inventory, delivery time, methods of transport, prices, etc. So how to approach sales negotiations? One is sales professionals should start the negotiation, then put all your terms on the table at the outset. Don't negotiate too early. Take time. Understand what is the customer need. First you understand the customer, then you negotiate. Then you give your solutions, then you negotiate. Prioritize your trades, then always ask for something in return. So somebody is negotiating means in return also you ask something. Then comes your competitive bidding and negotiation. Just one. This is applicable for industrial products. So let us discuss what is consumer products, what is industrial products. Consumer product means generally we buy the product. This is consumer product for our use. But industrial product means the company buys, it is not for their use, to use it to manufacture the final product. Suppose Mahindra is buying tires from Apollo company. This is industrial product. But we are buying tires for our purpose. This is consumer products. So the same products also can be consumer, can be industrial. So in consumer, it is brought by final consumers for personal consumptions. It is brought for further processing or for use in conducting a business. Steel plant buys raw materials, iron ore. This is industrial product. It differs in the way consumers buy them. Consumer products brought by the business, not for consumers. So this is the difference between industrial and consumer products. The industrial products also can be divided into several points. One is capital goods, big machineries, plants and all, these are all capital goods. Raw materials, your iron ore, bauxites, etc. Then component parts. Component parts are the finished products of another supplier. As we have seen, Apollo tires is manufactured from rubber. It is manufacturing tire. That tire is supplying to Hyundai. So for Hyundai, this is component parts. And major equipments and all. Then accessories, equipments for suppose say welding machines, you want welding rod, then supplies, stationaries and all, then services, your cleanings and all. So these are all industrial products. So competitive bidding and negotiation, it is used in industrial buying, industrial product, where there is a market for item and some price level has been already established. Standards products, most are standards products. So if the product is standard, what you do? You face-to-face discuss, followed by a written paperwork. So what are the situations for negotiations? Purchase of complex item, when it is not standardized one, it is customized, then having little cost information. If the item is standard item, you know this is the cost. But if it is a new item, so purchase is complex. You don't know about the cost and all. So here is an important terms of negotiation. So when item price is fixed, better deal from an anxious supplier. Suppose there are n number of company and the item price is more or less fixed. One anxious supplier, one new entrance is there. So you can negotiate. Say in case of again tire manufacturing, there are 10 tire manufacturers, right? One new XYZ tire comes. So how it will cater to the OEM? So it will give some discounts, right? So you take that advantage. Then product can be made in its own plant. If you first decide that this is the requirement, if you can manufacture it in your own plant, then you manufacture. Otherwise, you outsource, you purchase. Then none of the supplier has a proper quotation. Then you can go for negotiation. Then major price changes in high value items. So in this case, you can negotiate. Next is reciprocity. Responsive action and rewarding actions among buyer and seller develop strong relationship between buyer and seller. The outcome of reciprocity is cooperative marketing, cooperative advertising. Here you have 3 figures. Can you able to tell what are the common features in these 3 advertisements? Generally in advertisement, you see the advertisement, the promotion of one product or one services. But here you see more than one. That means 2 companies are involved, right? So here you see this Whirlpool advertisement of this Whirlpool washing machine. So here Ariel also washing powder, right? So this is corporate advertising. Here McDonald's and Coca-Cola, they have a combo offer, McDonald's and Coca-Cola, because generally people, they go to have chicken meals, so along with that they drink soft drinks. So Coca-Cola, McDonald's. So here is Nike and Apple. So this is a device which is a wireless device. It is kept inside your shoes and it will tell it is synchronized with your iPhone, and here it takes all your health informations and all. So these are all corporate advertising. So this is a win-win situation for both buyer and seller. Next is customer service. So you assist your customer in before sale, this is pre-sales, during the sale and post-sales transactions. It is not that you sell the product and you forget it. No, you customer before selling you help, during selling you help, and post-selling also you help. That means this after sale service and all. So good customer service leads to long-term relationships. Obviously, he will be a loyal customer and he will buy your product, and with word of mouth, he will tell to other people also to take your products. So what are the characteristics? You listening. You listen carefully. Then you ask your queries. Then this is responsibility. One is responsibility, next is responsive. Responsive means the time factor. How responsive you are means how you are dealing it with less time. Then you knowledge about the customers and all, because now knowledge is power. Then timely service and accuracy. So here customer service channel, what are the channels? Now social medias and all, you have phones, you have emails, you have live chat with your customer, then social media also, then you can have video chats, you can have communities and forum so that you can interact, and self-service, service knowledge base and chat box. So these are the customer service. Here we will discuss how to manage buyer-seller relationship. There are three stages of buyer-seller relationships. One is pre-relationship, another is four stages: exploratory, then development, then stable, then final. Next, it depends on commitment, distance, uncertainty, and experience. There are several categories of these buyer-seller relationships. Here, this you see, here in horizontal axis, it is supplier-specific investment. Supplier-specific investment is low here and high here. So gradually it is increasing, low, high, supplier-specific investment. In vertical axis, y-axis, it is buyer-specific investment. It is low here, it is high here. Suppose supplier's investment is low, buyer's investment is low. So commitment of both buyer and suppliers are low. Then it is just market exchange. Just you give, this is a one time, like your barter, you exchange. With money, you exchange the product. So both are low. Here, in this case, the buyer specific investment is high and the supplier's investment also high. So here you have strategic partnership. So this is the most important thing, strategic partnership of buyer and seller. So both want long-term business and long-term commitment. Say for example, take this one, see this figure. This is GE aircraft engine. This is the Airbus or aircraft. Generally the Boeing is the number one leading aeroplane manufacturer, and the engine is supplied by GE. GE stands for General Electric Company. It is a American conglomerate and its headquarters is in Boston. And there are several divisions for GE also. One is aerospace, another is power, another is renewable energy, digital industry. Then it is into finance also, finance and venture capitals. So in aerospace, GE makes aeroplane engine for Boeing. So Boeing is a US leading global aerospace company. It develops, manufactures and service aeroplane. So the engine, you can imagine the cost of a aeroplane and the cost of engine is the main part. Right? So for Boeing, GE is manufacturing engine. So here buyer's investment is high, seller's investment is also high. So this is the strategic partnership. The example is Boeing and GE. GE is manufacturing airplane engine for this. So here you have captive buyer, one is captive supplier. Captive buyer means buyer specific investment is high, whereas supplier specific investment is low. The captive buyer relationship reflects high investment of buyers and low investment. So under this relationship, suppliers are few in number. Suppliers are few. So supplier strength is there. So it is seller's market. So with preparatory technology and strong bargaining power of buyers. Captive buyer. Captive seller reflects high investment by the supplier and low investment by the buyer. Right? So here you have strategic partnerships, which is the most important thing. Captive buyer, market exchange, captive supplier. Next is providing service to the customer. You might have heard about the guarantee and warranty. So what is the difference between guarantee and warranty? Warranty means generally a car comes out with say 2 years warranty. Then they will go for, if you pay this amount, another 2 years extended warranty. So the warranty is the guarantee of guarantee of repair of replacement of a product. Suppose you buy a battery, automotive battery, it has suppose 1 year warranty. That means suppose after 6 months there are some disturbance, so they will replace the battery with another 6 months warranty. Or suppose you buy a tire, right? So after 6 months there are some manufacturing defect, so you buy another product, but they will give you some discount. So this is warranty. Guarantee means a promise made by the seller that the product is the best quality. Suppose you are buying a tube light, it is having Philips, it is having say 11 months guarantee. So 11 months guarantee means before 11 months there are some defects, they will supply the new. So guarantee means replace the faulty product. Warranty means return for repair, refund and replacement. Next is after sale service. Where is after sale service? In sales cycle, as we have seen in sales process, first is prospecting, then preparing contact, contacting, then sales presentation, handling objects, closing the sales, then you follow up, right? Then they purchase the product. So after sales service is the last step. Then technical assistance. For technical product, you have to give them technical assistance. So supplier selection process, the sources from where you get the information, from catalogs, from journal, trade journals, etc. Or you go to exhibitions, industrial exhibitions, then you screen about the price, quality, time, location of the suppliers, etc. Then inquire about the information and quotation, experience of the supplier, credibility, sales, profit, employee morals, etc. Now you evaluate the supplier, giving weightage to various attributes. So here it is a weighted point plan, and there are 4 suppliers A, B, C, D, and the factors for suppliers are: one is functions, another is cost, another is service, next is technical assistance, credit terms. So weightage is this. Suppose for weightage for function it is 10. This is more significant, and weightage for credit terms is 2. So for these A, B, C, D suppliers, these are the weight, right? So you multiply. Suppose for A, functions weight is 10, here score is 8. So 10 into 8, 80. 8 into 3, 24, like this. So the total scores for A is 211, here it is. For B, 223, 204, 222. So highest is 223. So you select this supplier B. So you see, in B, the functions is highest, 10. But you see in D, the credit terms is highest, but the credit weightage is less. So supplier development, there are some means of supplier development. You financing for capital equipment, sharing technical knowledge, then joint research for product development, then sharing business leads and profits. Then you collaborate with this. So to conclude this, the relationship between buyer and supplier, buyer and seller, it enhances business transactions, and the representatives generally they negotiate. Then relationship marketing plays an important role, and negotiation has to take place. It helps in reducing debts, lowering prices, get better deals, and negotiate terms of contract. Then you select the supplier. There are some approaches. You identify, select, evaluate, and develop the suppliers. We have seen that these three methods: ranking, ratings, and cost and quality checks. So the relationship between the buyer and supplier is of immense importance, and a balance has to be achieved for long-term fulfilling mutual benefits. It has to be a trade-off. So this ends your today's session. Thank you. Thank you.